files were all screwed because I ain't got a stand. So I'm back loading this crap up. Actually going to use the local county paper to load this crap up. No, you can't read it. Collecting all my glass stains and trying to get them all to fit in the same box. So if you've missed me this week, I'm sorry. As you can tell, I have cotton in this ear and an earbud in this ear. So if I'm yelling, that's why. I'm connected listening for phone calls, but I have cotton in this ear because my ears have gone to crap again. And a lot of it is because after the mastoiditis, they get so clear and clean that they feel weird. Hi, let me know when you pop in. I see people popping in. Say howdy. But I have cotton in this ear and an earbud in this ear, so if I'm talking loud, that's why. But after getting over the mastoiditis, which I need to reshave this spot right here, and this spot right here, after getting over the mastoiditis, my ears are so clean and they're draining so well that they feel weird because my ears don't normally work. So they feel weird when they work. My ENT surgeon said that this is just the way it's going to feel. Hi, Marcia. Howdy. So I need to reshave this, but I watch right here because I get speckles before I get mastoiditis. So I don't have any speckles right yet because as you can tell, I've been rubbing this to try to see. But here's the problem with moving down the mountain and coming home to collect my trinkets. Is up here, it's just now starting to be late spring. Down there on the farm, it's already summer. So all the pollen's passed down there, and I do fine. When I come up here, I get clogged with pollen, and the pressure is different. And there, like after I came a shower, when I got here to load this crap up, I went out to take a box to the Jeep, and there was yellow waves in the puddle because there's so much pollen here right now. And down there, where I'm currently at, the pollen's already through. So, is it Raven? I'm almost blind without my glasses. Hi, Lucia. So, if you see me today, I've been doing this nonstop, looking for speckles because my ears bother me again. So I'm like, oh God, here we go with mastoiditis again. Oh my God. And thank you to my mod that slipped into that. So I've come home and I need to reshave this because I'm having ear problems so I can watch for speckles, but I don't want to reshave it just yet. But I'm nasally. I think it's all sinuses and allergies, but it's still spring, late spring up here. But when I go down the mountain to where I am currently, this is already passed. So I come up here and I get so snotty. Hi, Ashley. I'm coming to pick up trinkets. And David Scott, he's going, I don't know if I'm going to go or not. He told me I could go with him if I wanted to go to Bandy Creek. I don't know. We'll see. But every time I come back up the hill, after going down there and getting used to down there, where it's like 6 degrees warmer all the time, I get like this. And I feel horrible. And I've had the worst health week all week this week. If you can't tell from my face and my horrible circles, I've had the worst health week. Let me tell you my schedule. So if I go out tomorrow, if I feel like it, I'm going to go to the Spring Planting Festival. I don't know if I feel like it. I've gotten much worse since I got up the mountain and got the pollen, so I feel horrible. I know that pollen's horrible. So if I get out tomorrow, I'll go to the Spring Planting Festival. But if I don't, then I have Sunday, but then Monday I have a meeting with the district attorney, and Tuesday I have court to put that woman that almost shot me, hopefully in jail or on paper to where somebody's got eyes on her because you ain't slinging no more lead at me, you heifer. I'm over it. Y'all tell I'm over it. You see how nervous I am for court. I lived in court for 10 years when I was an officer, so I'm not really worried about it. But I have to meet with the state's prosecuting attorney at the DA's office Monday because I'm sure he's going to tell me what to say, even though he knows I know what to say. But he has to go through, and I'm sure that her lawyer has submitted a plea to see if I'm okay with it and the state's okay with it. But honestly, I think she needs to be watched and have eyes on her because I think she's dangerous. And I don't want anyone else to have to deal with her the way I've dealt with her. So I'm going to take a hit for the whole daggum county and try to get us all protected from her. But people's been talking like crap about me, but they don't say it to my face. So what should I think about it? Absolutely nothing. This is a big one I did. It's got birds and cactus. You can't see that. There's birds and cactus and little butterflies. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Pure glass. Am I going to make it home with it? What is it? The Hunger Games. May the odds be ever in your favor. No. So I'm kind of terrified about this, but yeah. And all my Temu's been diverted, so I only have a few bags left to be delivered here. So everything then will be going down there. And so I won't have to be running back and forth to get craft stuff that I've ordered or craft stuff that I need. Well, the thing is that when they put her in jail, they only held her for a few days. And they said she was having a medical issue and let her out. And then they just let her in the wind. And so the DA's office finally went back to the misdemeanor judge who let her out and was like, you idiot. And if you're watching this, misdemeanor judge, you freaking idiot. Not your fan anymore. But they said she needs to be in custody. She is a danger to society. She's a threat. And they did. They wouldn't put her in custody. They still didn't put her in custody. But they gave her a no contact order, and which she's violating it by being just in her goddamn house, because that's probably closer than the contact order. She is the only one that lives across my pasture up that hill. And so I thought, idiots. But anyway, I'm not an officer anymore, so let the court be stupid on their own. But yeah, it's just been one of those events where it's just like, why didn't you do your job? And in the last week, I've had 2 people contact me, want to know how to get sentence management to have their loved ones' time calculated. Oh, I've gotten a lot of crap out of this craft curio, but I've got to get my painting from Sabrina. I've got 80% out of that. It's just all smashed against the front. But I've had 2 families call and say, how do we get our loved ones' judgment orders to sentence management, because it's been months and the county and the criminal court has not done it. And I'm like, oh. And so I'm like, listen, if the judge hasn't signed it, you're foobarred, because until the judge signs it, they can't file it and they can't send it to sentence management and you can't get a copy. So they started calling people. It turns out the judge had not even signed it. And I don't know. Tennessee's getting horrible, but we've got a lot of people moving in here right now that are bringing their bad habits with them. Not everybody. We found some good people here, but oh gosh, some of them are just horrible. And I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. But this lady has lived here her whole life. She's just a piece of crap. And I'd say that to her face. You're a piece of crap. Probably will say it to her face Monday or Tuesday. Monday I have the meeting. Tuesday I go to the DA's office. So David has at some point hit this and shoved it all in the back. How in the crap did you do that? It was on the kitchen counter. Oh, man. So my life has kind of fell apart since that old heifer did that. And not had the best. I've had to move. I've had to hide myself because they wouldn't put her in custody. I knew I rattled the viper's nest because I called out somebody who smuggled dope. So I was told to put myself in a safe place. I did. But isn't it crappy that your local law enforcement doesn't take you serious, won't keep you safe? And even when you're going through a court case where they say you need to put yourself somewhere safe, they won't put the woman that made you not safe in custody. It's like, if you would do your job, I would be safe, you morons. Mom and Dad are good. We've just been so busy and trying to get settled, and Dad's been bush hogging, getting ready for hay to start coming in here soon. And Mom has been on the eternal double wedding ring quilt. And I've tried to spend as much time with her when she's quilting. I'm trying to craft, and I've done a bunch of stuff, but it's just like, I don't know, getting into a new routine and a new vibe is kind of weird. And I've still got so much crap that I need to move, and I'm just not doing well enough to be up and down the mountain. And honestly, wouldn't be up here today did I not need clothes for court. Like, I still have all my work clothes, But I took all like summer clothes with me and comfy clothes. You don't think about. I thought it would take at least another month to get her in court at least. But they rushed this because of the danger she caused and because they won't take her to custody, so they're rushing it. And so I just took comfy clothes thinking, oh, it'll be another month or so before we go to court, knowing the timeline in my head for my old job. And boom, and I needed clothes for court. So I thought, well, I'll go load up a few more things and get clothes. And I've forgotten Oscar's little tiny paw clippers. I've thought I had them in the bag and I didn't, so I hope I haven't dropped them somewhere. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I've been worried about you because I know how difficult it was when I went through all that dental stuff that I went through after that bull headbutted me. Oh my God, y'all heard me right. I had a bull headbutt me and take out my front 4 teeth when I was young and very young. And he became a steer and then burger. And don't sass me, he deserved it. But I had like just total reconstruction crap done. And it was not pleasant. It was probably one of the worst experiences. I need more plastic. What can I steal from here that's plastic? I guess I could use the smart camera box. I mean, it's not got anything in it anymore. Since nobody's been here, David has beefed up on security. So that's kind of nice to see, but I'm going to totally thieve this box. Will it shut? Kind of. But yeah, I went through like 6 weeks to let my face and bones heal, and then they put the new ones in. I was so uncomfortable for like a month with the new teeth. It was horrible. And they wouldn't give me the ones that buckled to my skull because they was afraid I was still working livestock. They was afraid I'd get headbutted again and it would knock them out and it would break like my skull. And so they gave me a partial plate, and I don't want those anymore. I mean, I hate this thing. I want a new one. Oh, we could show that. She is absolutely that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, well, you run across people that, I don't know what she's going through, but whatever it was, it made her turn to drugs and it made her completely unreliable to society. And I'm not okay with that. Like, as long as you're not throwing lead at me, in the first few times she shot, I thought, is there a bear going through? Is there a possum in her chickens? And then we started kind of looking closer. She doesn't have chickens. She doesn't have any reason to be shooting. She doesn't have anything to protect but herself, and nobody was in her home. She was outside of her home shooting. And then the bullets started coming toward me. And when I turn on the kitchen light, the bullets start coming toward me. And I thought, heifer, don't do this. Don't do this. And several times I gave her a warning of, put your gun up, go to bed, sleep it off. Get in your daggum house. You're going to hurt somebody, And I would give her a warning yell, and most of the time she would respond to it. But the last time she just decided she was done with me and was going to try to kill me. And I thought, and what it was she would get in her yard and come down the woods and get like sniper pose straight to my backyard because it kind of swags in between us. Shooting through scruff brush, but then my pasture is straight open to my back porch. And she was screaming that I was stealing her trees with the little green men. Now, we did this for 8 nights, and I was like, this is a meth problem. This is a methamphetamine problem. I've supervised so many of these people. I understand. Hi, Savannah. Thank you for saying hello. I've had the most horrible week. But yeah, I was like, this is a methamphetamine problem. And she's very late in life. She's like 60 plus. And so her brain is probably like her neurosynaptic roads are gravel and very short at this point, because using a lot of meth for that amount of time without killing yourself is like huffing every day. The brain cells you deplete, you don't get back. Your cognition completely goes downhill. And so I knew that we were like in a danger spot when she was like her 8th night, because I've only ever seen somebody go 13 before they start hurting themselves or somebody else. And I was like, I'm going to have to do something tomorrow. She's because dispatch was not even responding. They were driving by going, we don't hear anything. Well, no, at 35 miles an hour, why would you? So, but I thought, I'm going to have to make him respond because they thought I was lying about it all. And I'm like, listen, I'm not easily scared. I've dealt with like 10 months of the shooting, but I'm done with it. And when they heard gunshots and still wouldn't respond, the next night I just live streamed it. I thought, you can either do your job or I'll sue your butt. They did their job. Very poorly, but they did it, so. Yeah, we had a pistol round. She started shooting a pistol and they dropped pretty quick. And so I wasn't too worried about that. But I was worried because it was warming up and there are kids that live across from her. And I kept telling dispatch, you're going to have to do something. She's putting people in danger. And the warmer it gets, the more kids will be outside. And sadly, the married couple that live straight across the road from her have both died in the last like 6 months. And so they've died probably having to deal with hearing all this and being stressed out as well. And I feel bad about that. The little lady just died a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, well, I mean, I hope they called dispatch a couple times. Did it help my case if they did? I don't know. I don't know if the DA subpoenaed dispatch records or not. He should have. If he didn't, you're a dumbass. I didn't listen. I'm old and I've got a terminal disorder. I'm gonna say what I want to. But I just thought she's gonna shoot one of those little kids that plays over there. If she aims anywhere but me, she's gonna strike a house because I'm literally the farthest one over the hill, and then she's a little neighborhood over there. And I thought, oh my God. And I kept telling dispatch, you're gonna have to do something. It's getting warmer. Those kids are outside. We've got a pregnant lady right down that road in the other house. They're all terrified, but they're too scared to say anything. I'm not. Fix this. You're putting everyone here in a position to make a very, have to make a very bad decision that nobody wants to make. If she walks off her postage stamp yard into anybody else's property, what do you expect us to do with this, 6 to 10 months of shooting, knowing she's out of her mind, high, aggressive, violent, and has a weapon? What are we supposed to do? What do you think we're going to have to do? You're putting us all in a bad position. And they would never take action. And then when they arrested her, they're like, oh my God, she had that night, it cracked, and I knew that was a rifle. I was like, you hear me when I tell the dispatcher, I'm like, crap, did you hear that? It cracked. And I was like, that is a rifle. She's shooting a long barrel at me now. She can actually kill me now. But we had a pistol round hit the house, but it didn't leave enough damage for them to say it left damage. Which I find stupid. If I heard it hit my house, I should be able to report it. But the pistol didn't scare me that much. Of course, I'm trained with weapons, so the pistol didn't scare me that much. But the long barrel, when it cracked, I was like, oh, no. And all through this, I was going through mastoiditis and being very sick and ER visits and doctor visits. And I couldn't do it anymore. And I just thought, screw this, I'm out. Because if I'd stayed here, she was going to continue until I was going to have to react. I didn't want to have to react. I don't want to have to shoot somebody. It's not anything I want to do. So I removed myself from the whole freaking scenario. And, but I mean, honestly, what does the police expect me to do? If you look at the continuum of force that you're trained with on the police force, when she was shooting at me, I had every legal, legitimate reason to fire back. But I chose not to. I called the cops over 20 times. And it took them over 20 times to respond and actually do something. I had to live stream it on YouTube before they did anything. So y'all suck, cops. My local popo, y'all suck. G-force suckage. And I've told them all that too. You see me when I start the video, I'm like, let's see if we can get the sackless police officers up to one testicle policing tonight. But I told them, I said, I'm dragging a better set than all of y'all. Why aren't you engaging and taking care of this woman? I supervised murders for almost a decade. Why aren't you engaging and taking care of this woman? But hi, Denise. Yeah. Well, and in the midst of all this, my husband, who thought I was making it sound worse than it was, finally came in the last night. And you hear him, he actually went and got a gun because he thought he was going to have to defend his property and me. I already had 3 stacked by the door. I was ready to go if she topped the hill. But it's scary to be in that position. I was in that position for work, but I'm retired. I don't do all this crap every day, and I don't want to. So I don't want to. And there's no reason you should be firing a long rifle at me. We've shot twice in like the last 7 years. And both times was a fox that had gotten. We have foxes that they must have den over the hill somewhere by the spring. And they got to where they were so numerous, they were out in the daytime. And we didn't like that because that's also a sign of rabies and stuff. And I told David, I said, you're going to have to diminish this fox number we have here. I said, because they're getting into everything. And so he set 2 snares and caught 2 females, and he dispatched them 1 shot each toward the ground straight, right there in 3-foot proximity. And that was to keep them off our pastures and that, because they carry stuff like possums carry certain stuff, and we just had too many prowling here, and it was just, they'd come on the porch. They had no freaking fear of anybody. They were worse than the coyotes around here. And had a bear on my porch like 3 years ago, though, so that's kind of bad too. But that's the only two times we fired, and that's you get right up on the animal within 3 foot, and it's straight down to the ground shot through the animal. There are so many people and kids here now that I would like 10 years ago. Yeah, we didn't have that many people that live here. Now, no, there's no reason to fire a weapon here. It's too populated. Oh, I've got plenty of stuff to defend myself with, Savannah. I just hate to have to shoot somebody. You was ready to duck when you were watching that. I went ducking. I stepped in the house and thought, you heifer. But it's kind of yeah. The live is still viewable. It's like 44 minutes and some odd seconds. It's from the 28th or the 20, somewhere between the 28th and 30th of March. I've slept since then, so go look. But yeah, the first 10 minutes are the best, and then you can hear her squalling when they take her into custody because it reverberates. It sound will climb the mountain, so it climbed up to my back. You can hear her squalling if you listen. I was told that the gun they took into evidence has gone missing. So I'll find out for sure about that Monday. If it is, heck no, tech no, we ain't going to court yet. We're going to find that freaking evidence, then we're going to go to court, and y'all need to hold her. Who else is in on this? I got questions. Oh, well, that's why I left, because I knew if I stayed here, I was going to be in a position where I was going to have to defend myself, and I didn't want to get in an altercation. It's not really fair. I'm trained. I've been handling firearms since I was tiny, and I'm law enforcement trained. So it's not really, it's like not fair. So I was like, I'm going to just remove myself from this. Thank you, Ashley, sweetheart. You're so good. I'm going to remove myself from this so I don't have to get into an altercation, because they're going to look at me and go, well, she's trained and been on the firing range and how dare her. And so I just removed myself from all of it. I just couldn't be here anymore. I was too sick. I wasn't healing. I still got big rings, but I'm doing better. But the pollen is making my ear messed up again. So I've got to reshave these so I can watch again for mastoiditis life. But David really thought I was making it sound worse than it was. And then when he rolled in the last night and he rolled in on the fourth shot and heard it crack and come busting through the house and grabbed his 9mm and come to the back porch. And I done had the 870 with the turkey choke, the 17, and then a deer rifle. I was ready for anybody that popped over the hill that was coming to kill me. I was going to pick them off before they got to me. I'm not going to let anybody get in my home. No, if you're crazy, out of your mind, no. I'm not waiting for you to cross the threshold of my house. Not when you've been shooting at me for 10 months. No. And I was in a position where I was going, how in the heck have I never had even a traffic ticket? And here I am having to defend myself from a meth head. Hi, talking about green men stealing the trees, and I am too. I ain't never been on a property. But it kind of, it ticked me off really bad. And then when they told me to put myself somewhere safe without taking her into custody, excuse me, the court system ain't what it used to be. Will you vote for Biden or Trump? I'll vote for you to be kicked out of my chat. But on my next payment to the IRS, because we had to pay money in this year because Joe Biden changed the W-2s, go look it up. Filing goose egg and married does not mean goose egg and married. You have to file single to have a 0. If you file married, they withhold the very minimum. The HR at David's factory didn't update anybody on that, so we had to pay money in this year, which is like it's fun to be the last thing you do together. And on the first memo line, I put, I hate y'all. And on the second one, when he sends in the next one, because I have to fill it out for him, he gets a cashier check or a money order. On the second memo line, I'm going to put, this is for Parmesan and hose. Because I'm pretty sure it's where my tax money is going anyway. So all I know is I'm podunk poor, and I had to pay the government. And I'm like, F y'all, I'm done with you. Like, I'm done. So I just, whoever's president, I don't want to pay the government. Y'all take enough for me during the year, and then you turn around and want to bite my butt in the spring, and I'm just like, I'm over it. I don't care who's president. If you do that, F y'all. But you're going to have these crazy people float through. The only people that we have in the U.S. anymore are the completely chill people that are like, I want the old ways back. or these new age libtards that are going, we have to change everything and have 50,000 genders. And listen, I'm master's in psychology. Y'all are screwing up the world. You can't follow every little divot your brain takes and create a new life from it. You have to learn how to follow maybe a broad path, but a path, and stop rambling into the weeds every 5 seconds because you had a new emotion. Emotions are like bus stops. You visit one, you get on a bus, and you go to another. You don't stay there forever. But I see these younger generation. I'm freaking scared. I'm scared because they don't have historical context. They won't do any research, but they will have an emotion and want to kill somebody based on an emotion. But they have no context other than their little 5-year gap where they've been wide-eyed enough to see the world. They don't have any other context. And I'm like, no. No, you need to sit down and learn a little bit before you decide to be dictator of the world. Oh, but I'm at a point where like all politicians are crooked as dogs' hind legs, and I'm just trying to navigate life. And I don't care who's president. I don't care whose administration's in. If I have to pay you back taxes, I'm gonna write something nasty in the memo line. It's my right as an American. I'm gonna tell y'all I'm not happy about doing this. You know, I think Ryan hanging out with JJ has been a good influence. That's just my thought on that. But God, if I had to pay money back, imagine both of them. I bet you I hope they have good business people. Yeah, it was a rough year. It's been a rough year. So, but I thought once in the last few weeks I'd give you a reoccurring backdrop that you probably won't see that much more. Yeah, do you, but don't step on other people's toes. And I'm getting tired of my freaking toes being stepped on. I've been backed in the corner about beat to death by the last generation, and I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm tired of reading newspapers and seeing like adjectives and emotional gangways, to get them on the freeway of emotional living. Without any facts. They can write a whole newspaper page now without any facts, just emotions. But I'm just like, I learned nothing but this. I learned nothing from this except for that some people can be led by the nose emotionally. I mean, and that's basically our country's taking emotional hostages. I mean, go ahead, just call it what it is. People with common sense ain't praised anymore. It's you got to have a plot, and you've got to impose it upon everyone else and take emotional hostages. And I'm just like, I don't know. I think I've hit a point in life where I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Been through enough now. I just like, leave me alone. It's the best advice I can give anyone. Just leave me alone. But you can't even have a YouTube channel without people like wanting to know your political affiliations. And I'm like, screw you. I go by, is this person going to be best for all of society or stick his head up somebody else's butt? That's pretty much how I look at people. Like, are you going to be a leader or are you going to be led by the nose to screw us over? That's kind of how I look at things. And I don't think either party does a better job. I think you just have to hope and pray that somewhere in that person's soul they have a little spot of light where they care about other people. Because I don't think many politicians, I don't think many politicians or people in politics do. I think they're so broken off and disconnected from the mainstream normal population, which is like 90% of this country. I think they're so broken attached that they don't understand what we want anymore. They've gotten to where they think they're prescriptive, where they get to prescribe our lifestyle rather than where we get to predict and tell them what we want, and then the voting reflects what the people want. Now, even if they get voted in and the people think, well, oh, they're going to do what we want, they go to where they do what they think needs to be done rather than their constituents telling them what to do. Politics is a sore spot. When you get to be, like I'm fixing to be 46. When you get to be this old and you have seen the same rodeo and the same bronc 1,500 times, it's like somebody shoot the horse, put it out of its misery, we're done. Tired of this show. Stop abusing the damn horse and set the cowboy off and just tell everybody to stop the damn show. Because that's all politics is. It's a show. It's a show for money and power and greed. That's why I'm sitting here in Podunk, poor as a church mouse, and had to pay in money. Greedy people ruin the world. Look at George Soros. He's got sitting on a nest egg that could heal and save and feed almost everyone in the world. And what's he doing with it? Creating strife. Because he's an asshole. And I'm just like, be good to people. What does it matter? Why do you have to segregate me or isolate me or put me in a box or compartmentalize me? Why? Get to know me. Get to know me. What do you know about me? You know nothing. You've seen me and you know my political affiliation. You're going to run off and tell everybody what kind of person I am. That's a real short-sighted endeavor right there. It don't take much brains to do that. Expand yourself and learn people's hearts and minds and souls before you look at their political affiliations, because that will get you much farther in life. And here's a good tip for you. It's going to be people like me that keeps this goddamn country turning when everybody else goes panties up. So there you go. Well, they don't really have a choice, because if they put him in custody, you basically neutered every president from here on out. And why would you want to have a neutered president? We need a president that's going to stand there and drag us head and bark at other countries and say, no. We're over here, you're over there, leave us alone. This is the way it's going to be over here. If you don't like it, then don't affiliate with us. Countries have fences make good neighbors, okay? And you look at any other country in the world, and we have gotten so lackadaisical about people that we let in here and do things. But if you were to go to any other country, you would be put through the gamut. You would be absolutely run through a marathon before you'd be let into their country, even tiptoe on their property. You'd be held. You'd be searched. You'd be backgrounded. You'd feel like a freaking criminal. And it's the way it should be. Because bad people do bad things. And boundaries are there for a reason. But a lot of people that live in this world, like, I don't know, I'm being an officer for a long time. I was a parole and probation officer, and I did interstate compact. So I had to know every state's stats and be prepared for an offender from any state. And when you see the trafficking routes, and you see the pathways, and you see the populations that suffer, and you see the hidden areas that prosper, and you understand how money affiliates and creates that, and you watch it happen, and you see the sex trafficking routes, and you get told it's going to amp up for the next 3 years, well, how do you know? Because they have the stats and they've watched the pathways. And once I got to be an old enough officer and I understood this, I thought, okay, well, let's look beyond this. Where does the money come from? Well, the money comes from governments across the world. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but that's where it comes from. People in power don't do nice things. Most people in society are so... Well, I would say there's probably at least 30% of the population that's like histrionic narcissist capacity right now, because of the emotional training that we've got, the emotional manipulation we've got going on in the media. They want attention. They don't care if it's good or bad. They just want attention. And that creates a very dangerous position for people that don't want attention and are just got their noses down trying to get through life. Because when it starts affecting people like me that are out in the really rural outreach spots in America, there's a problem. There's a big problem. And and people say, well, who do you think is the most dangerous category of people on the face of the young 24 to 32-year-old ignorant white kids getting out of college? That's the most dangerous population we have. Why? Because they're ignorant. They've been trained by people that don't love this country. Now they owe thousands of dollars for an education they didn't receive, and they came out cynical and mad. And they go after everybody because they don't know who they are. They've been erased for the last 4 to 6 years. And they go after everybody and they just create turmoil. And it's like if you just sit down, learn your history, learn your lineage, learn your genealogy, understand how you came to be, then you can sit back and look at other people and say, okay, that's how they came to be. And you can identify people as people instead of like angry people you want to delete. And it's just, I don't know. I've lived my whole life, and even when I was an officer, I never had an altercation with anybody. I never had an issue. I always respected people. I shook their hands before I sent them back to prison and said, I hope you do better next time. And I don't know. The world is, it's falling apart because the young people live their lives in these little boxes rather than in communities, shaking hands, having good family contacts, having good support. I mean, I understand they feel isolated, alone, and they're lashing out, but can you not kill our country in the process of your, existential crisis? Thank you. It'd be nice. Thank you. I mean, I have bad days too, but I don't like look for a group or someone to hate. I'm like, okay, only thing I can control is me and my environments, and that's the land I own. I can't control public property. I have to. That's your Venn where we all interlap and we all have to, follow the same rules. But so I stay on my property or property that I know is going to be controlled in a fashion I agree with, and I don't put myself in bad positions, and I certainly don't poke the bear and irritate other people. If they're just living life, you live your life, I'll live mine. But when you step out and you try to control everyone else and you don't understand the way the law is written, you don't understand public property, private property, trespassing, you don't understand any of that. I mean, a lot of those kids give false names when they're arrested, and I'm like, that's like, it's a felony in most places. So it's just like, read your annotated code for your state, understand the laws, look at the stats, look at the numbers for assaults and violent behaviors in the age ranges, understand who is screwing up this nation. Most of the assaults and the violent charges and stuff, they're coming from the 24 to 32-year-old age range right now. And some are even younger. Like we talked about juveniles. I worked with juveniles that were in state's custody for a long time. Y'all, the problem is getting to the roots. We're going to have to pinch the plant and start over. So well, I'm Forever Flowers. I'm probably about as isolated as you. I'm an hour from any interstate. Well, about an hour 15, and there's really no reason to come here unless you live here or you're starting some crap. And it's just like when you start to see people move to your area to flee from other areas because of the violence and the behavior, and I think we've had like 3,000 or 4,000 people move in the last 4 years. And they're bringing their retirement incomes. They're not bringing any commerce to this area. So they're shopping in other counties because we don't have very many stores. So they're not bringing anything to this county. But our population has grown substantially, but we're not getting any more money in the county. So the police, we've not been able to amp up the county and city because there's been no extra money coming with these people. They're living on retirement. The only thing they're paying is land taxes, and they're shopping out of the county and not bringing any commerce. And so it's just like a siphon. And then they bring their medium and medium mode, and they go by that for land taxes. Well, these people bring these ginormous incomes from these other big states where they've had these giant jobs that are not available here, and they raise the land taxes so high that the people that were born here, and we can't even afford our land anymore. And it's like, can we not? I mean, I don't care if you want to trip yourself somewhere, but bring a job with you or take care of the county you move into, because you're coming to Podunk because you feel safe. Well, as Podunkies that make you feel safe, we'd like to be able to live here to make you still feel safe. So think about what you're doing to other people. Can you answer my... Well, hang on. I've got to go back and read. If you've not asked it, ask it now because I'm actually looking at the chat. Yeah, we have two grocery stores, and one of them is Walmart. And I think Sam Walton's spinning in his grave right now because he did not start Walmart to be like it is today. Savannah, you may have to send me a link. I don't think I know much of that. We don't have a Family Dollar. We have a Dollar General, but they're starting to put, like, if you see a cow pasture, they're going to put a Dollar General in it. So, do I like Elvis Presley? I think he was talented. I think I, I think he was talented. I think he had a drive and a passion. But honestly, if you think about it, that's 70% of the population. It's just luck only bestows itself upon certain people. I mean, I see people every day that are singing better songs, better music with better vocals, but they don't have the capacity to stick themselves under a spotlight and get noticed. You know, I've got one guy that he used to be a parolee and he is doing songwriting competitions and singing competitions, and he has the songwriting skills and the vocal range to sing, to be heard on the radio, but because he has to travel 5 hours to get in the spotlight, it's very difficult for him. And he doesn't want to live in the city because he just got off parole and he knows his limits and he knows country living is best for him and he doesn't want to go back to the city. But he's very talented. And so right now all he does is share songs with recovery places all over the area and sing for people that are struggling with addiction. And he's helping them overcome addiction by telling them his story of addiction and how he overcame it. But could he be a huge star? Absolutely. He could be a huge star. I love music. Music is something that's always been my go-to to get me. I don't know. It's to pull me back and center me, or to help me escape really bad days. It's either one or the other. It helps balance me. And so even when I was 11, 12, I was listening to Queen. I was listening to Freddie Mercury. I was extending my vernacular. I was not going to live in the hills and have the hills be prison bars. I wanted to be able to move and go and do if I wanted to. So I listened to complex music. I read complex books and I talked to complex people, and I got through school, but I didn't know I was going to get a neuromuscular disorder that was going to kill me. So the luck of the draw. The Dollar General Fresh Market, like if you only need one or two things, you could pop in. It's much better than having to run into Walmart. Oh my gosh, it's so expensive. It's like I bought seeds and helped mom plant flowers and stuff. But I've helped dad like watch his little garden. He does like stuff that you need for like salads and dinner and stuff. He puts those in those little pots and he does those big mineral buckets, container gardening. And of course, he's got a lot of land on there. Then they put a big garden out on the flat knoll of the property. And they go and check the big garden every evening. And so we put up a lot of our food, and we eat a lot of venison. And we've got enough bear season around here now that you're starting to see people that's got bear put up and deer put up. And there's some fowl hunters around here. We don't have a huge fowl population because we're high on the knoll. We don't have a lot of water that attracts them. But we eat out of the woods a lot. Like people here still live out of the woods, or they butcher their own beef. They raise their own cattle. They do their own thing. They have sheep, goats, whatever they want. And so we're like normally 20 to 25 years behind the curve of society normally. But this people moving in has caused us it's done a number on the kids here, because now they're getting to see different behaviors and different standards from other parents that have brought their children here. And it's like the kids are going, oh, we're allowed to give over that. And the podunk parents are like, no. But it's done a number on the kids here. They're turning into little turds. Oh, yeah, we have a great farmer's market. We have two, actually, because we grew too big for one, so they created a second one, which is great. And so a lot of people still buy from the local produce or the farmer's markets. And like I said, Dollar General, if you're passing, it's the only store you're going to see. You don't want to have to pass your home and go on into town. Stop, grab you whatever you need. But we normally are local, or we raise our own around here. So we don't, like, my parents have like a acre garden. I mean, they garden to the max. Oh yeah, there's, well, and people can't compete with these corporate strongholds of these, dollar 25, or people can't compete, so they can't make money to compete, so they go out of business. They don't keep a business. You don't have anyone that is really establishing a commerce on a lower tier within the community. It's all up here, and so the people, there's this huge gap, and we don't feel like we're part of the commerce anymore. We don't feel like we're part of it. We just feel like they're doing their own thing, left us behind, and now if we want a box of this, it's going to be that much. If we want a can of this, it's going to be that much. And a lot of us feel if we don't put up a bunch of stuff during the winter, we're screwed. Yeah, Dad just butchered a beef cattle. He split it, and he got 226 pounds of meat. And that butcher's really good because he does hanging meat and not total meat. So that's nice, because once you hang it, you've got the innards and everything out. And that's a good butcher. it's a good butcher. And so they brought home enough meat to fill a upright freezer the other day, and I helped him put it up. But not everybody lives that life. Not everybody, and like, I'm lucky, David can harvest a deer and I can help him process it and put it up. Or my brother was turkey hunting. Well, my nephew was turkey hunting this morning, and we can process whatever we pick out of the woods and eat it. But other people don't have these skills, and it's slowly being erased from culture that you don't take care of yourself. You look upward to take care of yourself. No, I want to look right here and take care of myself. I want to take care of my own property, my own land, with my own seeds, my own vegetables, my own deer, my own, they want us to look up and constantly need to look up for help. I don't want to look up for help. I'm okay being simple. I'll live down here. I'm fine with that. But they want us to look up, and they want us to feel defeated and helpless, and they want us begging for help, because then they can grab your nose and pull you wherever they want to go. And I'm just not one of those people. Just not. I just want to be left alone. The only bad thing about the farmers markets as the food stamp programs is then they have kind of changed the rate of things and the control of things. Because if you get to where you're getting federal monies, then there's federal oversight. And that hurts a lot of the people that shop or sell there. So we try to go. I even stop at the guy that on the 4-way. He'll bring his corn in every year, and he grows the best corn. And I'll always stop and get like 12 ears at a time and put them up and freeze them. I got a whole freezer full of corn. We've been eating corn all year round. So, I mean, and I just pay him straight money for it. And I'm like, how much is it a dozen? And he'll say, and I'll give him money, and I'll pick out 12 pretty ears, and I'll go home. And he sets up at the 4-way in the back of his pickup truck. That's where my corn comes from if I don't grow it myself. Raw milk is good for you. People say that it's so dangerous. It's not. It's not. It's not. My dad grew up drinking raw milk, and a lot of people around here still drink raw milk. And if you know how to take care of it, it's not dangerous. And but if you want to talk about milk being dangerous, how about in the cities up northeast when they put formaldehyde in it and killed a whole bunch of kids? Go look that one up. That's when milk is dangerous. Go look that one up. Nobody knows that happened. Go look it up. That's what I'm saying. Know your history. Don't always preach on the accomplishments of your country. Look at what diminishes it, and then try to make it better. Because if you're always looking and saying, oh, we're this, we're that, you're never looking at what other people see as your weakness. You need to look for your own weakness sometimes. So you need to look at your own, raw spots and say, okay, we've got to better this for us and everyone else. See? Yeah. And I visited friends. We would have raw goat's milk in the morning, and I don't necessarily like goat's milk, but I'll drink it if it's the only milk that's given to me. I grew up, going and wringing necks of chicken for dinner, and, I'm a fine person. They think it makes you some kind of barbarian to live in nature. No, it makes you at one with nature. It makes you grounded. It makes you understand everything is in a cycle. Everything has a lifespan, and we rely on other things just as they rely on us. And if you rely on a deer, you will make sure that you leave enough acreage for the deer. You'll make sure that they have habitat, that they have food. If and the only thing that we like to eradicate here is the hogs, because the hogs tear up land where it can't support anything. They root it up and tear it up. So we eat a lot of wild hog meat around here too. And but if you grow up and you're connected to the animals and you know what they need, then you'll always take care of the animals, so that you depend on those animals depend on you. And people in the city just think it's horrible. Well, no, it's you got to understand, an acre of land can only support so many living things until they all start to go downhill. And so but people in the city don't understand that. So I'll live out of the woods. Oh yeah, milking cows and goats is funny. Now, we would always hold the goat's ears while another one of us milked. And then I got to a goat show, and this lady that had just showed her goats, and the sheep show always came after the goat show. And you always want your dairy goats to go in with a full udder, so you milk them directly after the show. And this lady came up to me and the little girl that I showed livestock with, and she said, "Will y'all help us milk our goats?" And we was like, "Yeah," because she holds the ears and I milk real quick. And we had those, what were they, Nubian or something? Anyway, they don't have ears. They're those earless goats. And I was like, crap. So we had to hold their head while the other one milked. Oh yeah, like I'll get cream in the store and make my own butter sometimes. Make young cottage cheese. Just normal stuff. Where you literally just have to shake a jar or shake a Tupperware bowl. It's just like, and you always have cheesecloth or something that you can strain things through. It's just growing up the country. But a lot of people don't understand that, and they're very detached from the earth. And of course, I have a lot of native in my background, so I think a lot of what you learn comes from the wild and being attached to the land and understanding the animals and the life cycle of everything on the land. And I just think we're too detached from it. I think we're so detached that we think we're, immortal. And I'm not top tier predator. Those 500-pound black bears that we keep getting on trail cams are. And when you live in the country and you know that, it makes you look at everything else a little differently. And you're like, okay, I'm not top tier. I love meat goats. They're so cute, but they're annoying because they can get out of any fence. And they'll be on top of your goddamn car if you let them out for any minutes. They'll just get right up there and you're like, don't. But that's why I won't have goats over here, because I know my fence is 20 years old and it's got spots where I go to get through it. I'm not chasing goats. I have the legs to chase goats. So, but we are, for 2 years now, I've told my cousin if he wants to run a steer over here, we'll run a steer for him. And because he has Longhorn and they run his beef cattle to death. And so if he wants to put a steer over here, we'll fatten it up and we just half it. And I think he's going to do that this year. He works and travels for work, and he owns that company and has a Longhorn farm because he ropes. And I think he's going to do that this year. He got tied up in work last year and we did get it moved. Oh, I had a friend that had a goat that was, and so I grew up in the country, y'all. That was the sweetest goat, though. He was really sweet. He was, you put him on a leash and walk him like a dog, but he was house trained. But every year we would always have like 1 or 2 lambs that if something would happen, Mama would have triplets and not have enough milk, or Mom would pass during the birthing, and we'd be like, okay, well, we got a bottle, baby. And so I don't remember my whole younger years, teenage years, or even early adult years, because I lived on that cattle farm down when I was married to my first husband. That was just a rough time in my life. But I don't remember, like, up until the age of 30 that I didn't at least every other year have a bottle baby in the house somewhere. Because, they're born in the freaking middle of winter, so you have to keep them in the house if their mamas die. And I don't remember not having a bottle baby. Gail seems like a pretty consistent person, but I've not been in that world a lot lately. I think Ryan spending time with JJ is really good. And if y'all haven't gone and seen JJ's Good Old Boy Gospel album is out, and you can listen to it all for free on YouTube. And if you use his music in your videos, he will not copyright you. I love JJ. JJ and Kelsey rock. And I think Ryan spending time with him has been really good. Because JJ's he's pretty secure in who he is, and he stays away from the drama. And to the point where he lived in a cabin without electricity for many years to stay away from the drama. I think that's really good for Brian, because I think Brian is a country boy, but sometimes he has a nose for drama. I think it's been a good impact on him. I hope it has been. Oh gosh, the birds of prey around here, of course, they're all protected, but a lot of people have to net their chicken coops or their chicken areas. Now, we always had free range and always have enough, but you always put the chicken coop at the edge of the forest just to make it hard. But Mom and Dad have got a hawk that has been trying to get Mama's chihuahua, so everybody has to go over outside with Oliver and stand over Oliver while he goes tinkle, tinkle, pot, pot. And because this freaking hawk has tried to swoop down and catch him like 4 or 5 times, I'm like, the chihuahua is on the cutting block. And he's like 16 years old, so it's a blind, basically decrepit little chihuahua, and we're all hovering over the chihuahua going, don't do it, don't do it. I bought him like the wild, the predator, birds of prey, and predator. They're supposed to influence them elsewhere, but I don't think they work very well. But I told Mom she need one of those car salesmen, a lot flappy things, and just put a little wind tunnel underneath it and plug it up in her front yard so Oliver could just go pee underneath it. Because I've seen people that raise chickens use those. They use 3 on their farm, and they've not lost a chicken all year to anything. Smart idea. I don't know how I'd feel about having one of those things in my backyard, but I mean, hey. Yeah, those big birds. Well, we have eagles that come up through here. They come from the lake, and about every November, December, they stop and nest around here for a while until they go back into their home nest to raise for the next year. They kind of make a circle here, and they hit here about every November, December. And if that's kind of when David is doing a lot of work and trying to get prepped for the next trapping season, so he's getting through the last of anything that he's got in the freezer to tan or do anything. And lots of times when he'll flesh, he'll set the bucket of stuff outside until he can go dump it. And you'll see eagles, though, like one landed on my roof and just scratched it all the way down its tin roof. And I was like, how fat is that bird? Well, he then attempted to go and pick up like half the bucket and pack off the meat. And I was like, that's a big daggum bird. And you don't get around them. No, their claws look like my father's forearms, and he was a blacksmith for like 25 years. Their claws are so muscly, they look like my father's forearms, and I'm like, but I have seen one try to land on a 35-pound beaver carcass and pack it off, and it successfully got it like 100 foot before it dropped it. And I thought, no thank you. Well, if you get a toy chihuahua, you have to perch yourself over it when it piddles or poops, because birds will swoop down and pick it up. Oscar's just a mite too big. He's getting pretty fat, and he's pretty hateful. But he's also broad from the back, so they think they see a bigger animal. But Mom's little chihuahua has been a target for a while. So you go out with Oliver to potty, and you stand over him, and you look to the skies. And I feel stupid when I'm out there because I'm like waiting for a hawk to flog me, but you do what you do. I would feel bad if like he got swooped up on my potty watch. So we monitor Oliver at all times. And of course, Dad's got that big coonhound Ruby and that Australian Shepherd Dasher, so they keep everything run off. Ruby runs stuff off the farm every night. Like she's from 11:30 to 5 in the morning. Ruby's busy, and then of the day she's on the concrete sleeping, and then of the night she's running everything off the farm. And she knows her job, and she does it well. They killed a copperhead last year. Well, they killed a black snake up in the woods the other day, and I thought, you idiot, you killed a black snake. Black snakes are good snakes. But they killed a black snake up in the woods and was playing with it like a tug of war rope, and I was like, dogs. Dad went and threw it on up the hill, said leave it alone. But they killed a copperhead last year, saved Mom and Dad from getting bit. I love little dogs, but boy, around here, they're a hassle because you got to watch for everything. Coyotes, hawks, eagles, bears. I hadn't thought about that. I wonder if he could pack a little umbrella harness. He's only maybe 3 pounds, 4 pounds. He's tiny. But I was like, get him a little vest with like spikes coming out of it, so when they grab him, they'll let go. But he's 16. The fright would probably scare him and kill him. So, but we just go out and perch over Oliver while he goes potty, and I'm like, I have turned into a dog's potty security trail. But I'm lucky that I have my parents. So, and I've had a place to, off the main road, off the back road, off the back road, off the back road, off the private drive in a cattle farm. So anybody comes after me down there, we know what they're doing. So, buzzards, they get in flocks of like 20 to 30 here when farmers have stuff go down, and it's just like, I don't know why God created such an ugly bird, but he did. Oh yeah, and they'll sit and wait and watch for stuff to die. Like if they see a limping baby in the field, a baby sheep or something, they'll sit and perch and wait for it to die. And I've been like, y'all are horrible. So, and they've noticed where David traps, like they will stalk his trap lot if he doesn't switch it up a lot. So buzzards are smart, but I don't like them. I know they do a necessary job, but I don't like them. They're like the housekeeping of the farmlands and the woods, but they're very sketchy housekeeping. No, they'll poop on you. Is that what you was going to say, Savannah? They'll poop on you. Or they'll vomit on you. But most of the time they poop, but they will vomit too. Because they empty their gullet to go higher. So they empty every purge and to go higher. And that means they vomit or poop. It's like if a 747 needed to get out of missile range, they have to dump half the people so they can climb in altitude. That's what a buzzard does. Yeah, they'll either puke on you or poop on you because they purge so they can get higher and get away from danger. And they're just, I don't know, I just don't like them. I don't like those animals. I don't like them. But I've enjoyed getting back down and hearing nothing but dogs or cows. It's been nice. Like today, hearing what little bit of traffic I can hear off the road is like weird. So, but if I can get through Tuesday, and then after court I've got blood work because I have to check everything because my ears are going crazy again. So after court I got to go straight and give blood. I thought that was a sideburn. It's my back here. My bun. So if I get through Tuesday evening, I'm good. So it's just been weird. It's just been very strange. I thought something had took part of that off, but I don't know. I've been gone so long, it looks weird. I've got a red handle like this with me that looks the same, but it doesn't have that indent. And that just, I don't know. The things you notice when you've not been somewhere for a while. So, but I want to try to get out in the sun tomorrow. It's been so rainy and we had another little winter come through. I get tired of counting them. So we had another little winter come through, and it's kind of screwed my sinuses and ears up again. But tomorrow's supposed to be 73 or 75 and pretty. And I'm like, can I please have some sun and some vitamin D and maybe dry out whatever all this pollen and crap has caused and feel better. So I want to get out tomorrow. I'm like, if I see one, I'll listen to it. But I've been so busy with everything, the whole last month has just been a complete upheaval of my whole life. So thank you. I hope this woman gets eyes, at least gets like paper so that someone has to supervise her because she needs help. And like, while I'm worried for everyone that lives around her, I am worried about her too. That's why I removed myself from the whole event. I didn't want to have to Clint Eastwood somebody, And it's just like, I don't want to have an altercation with you. So I will remove myself from the whole event. But I shouldn't have to. Like, you shouldn't have a neighbor that takes drugs to such an extent she doesn't know what in the heck she's doing. You shouldn't have to deal with that. And like, I supervised people for so long. And if a neighbor called me and said they're doing this, I'd roll up and be like, what the crap? Do you want to go back to prison? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to do? Really? I'll give you a ticket right now. I will write a warrant in 5 minutes. And because I wanted people to straighten up and do well. I really liked it when people that, like, the underdog did well and, like, nobody expected it, or they were, like, betting on them to fail and the underdog did well. And I was like, because when people decide to turn into, you know, from an old lump of coal to a diamond, they shine brighter than the people that have just been spat out diamonds, you know. And so I always like to see the underdog win. And so my parolees that have gone on and have good lives and stuff, I'm so freaking proud of them. And I try to always remind them how freaking proud I am of them, because it takes a lot of effort to wholly just revamp your whole life. I mean, it's work, y'all. It's work. And getting off paper, that's double work, because probation or parole is not made to easily get away from. Just going to tell you, they want you there as a recurring money cycle. And so I'm really proud of them. And so I like to see people do well. It's like, I'm not wishing harm on anybody, but my God, I got shot at for like 8 to 10 months. It started, the first night I knew she was not, like, she started just where she'd shoot a couple and they go back in the house. And I thought maybe she's shooting at a possum or something coming through a yard. But, you know, I'd always try to make an excuse, because normally there's a rational excuse when someone fires a pistol around here. Normally there's a rational excuse. And then when she shot that first night, she emptied the clip. I was like, oh God, is there a bear over there? Is there someone in her home? I ran on the porch and had a gun in my hand. I had a long barrel in my hand because I thought, God, there must be a bear coming through the woods or something. And I was screaming, what are you shooting at? Are you okay? Do you need help? Because I thought something's going down over there. And when I stopped to listen, she cackled back at me. And that's the first night I knew she's freaking high. And that's when it all started. She knew when I had spotted her that I then became the target. And it was just like, I was just trying to be neighborly. I thought she was in trouble. I thought, is she being robbed? Is someone trying to hurt her? Is there a big animal? Do you need help? No. She's high. And but the first time it was so bad that David actually called dispatch was in the end of October when we both had COVID, which was a cold. I had COVID and a neuromuscular flare. So the flare was worse than the COVID. The COVID was bad, but the flare shut my whole body down so I couldn't fight the COVID. But it was basically, had I not been a flare, it would have been a bad cold. Sorry, that's just my personal opinion. And I'm sick all the time, so it was like a bad cold. But David was trying to sleep that day. He was home because he had to be home for like 4 days. And she started shooting. And I'm like, this is what I deal with all the time, honey. It's just, she's going to do this until about 4, and then she's going to start back at about 10. And he called dispatch, and he was like, you need to come shut her up. He's like, I'm sick of trying to sleep. And he said, working man ought not have to be kept awake. And I don't know if she just stopped shooting or maybe they called her and told her to stop. I don't know, but she stopped that evening. And so I had called a few times before then. But me and my husband have been calling pretty much nonstop since last October. But I had called probably a couple months before then because it was still warm the first time that she emptied that clip. And that's when I realized she's high. It was still warm. And because I was on the porch in my short PJs with a rifle in my hand thinking there's a bear, there's a robber, there's something going on over there. Do I need to protect myself? Do I need to help her? And she was high shooting in her backyard. And I thought, God. But I'm like the eternal Labrador retriever. I must go check on you, because law enforcement training. So we've been doing this for quite a while. And then you try to make yourself small so you don't attract attention. But that pisses me off. Because I got like 4.5, 5 acres, and I don't want to be small. I intentionally fenced inward so that I would have a barrier to go, you can't latch on my fence and you must stay over there. Be smart, people. And left a whole back hillside down to the creek because there's a spring down there. And I thought, well, other people may want to use the spring. I'll leave the spring open for everybody. I mean, God, that's a spring. People may need to use it sometime. But you intentionally do things to be kind to your neighbors. Like I have a wheelchair that anyone in the neighborhood needs. They're going to take a mom to the heart doctor or going to the Knoxville Zoo. Yeah, you can borrow my wheelchair. It's like community property. It just keeps coming back and people keep borrowing it. And to sit here and try to be as good to people as I have been and be shot at, I was just like, no. This land has gone downhill for the last 3 years. And it used to be the quietest, most pleasant place. And then other people started moving in, building homes on the main drag that we live off of. And it's just gotten more traffic, and people have realized it's a little whoop-de-doo where you can get away from the law really quick. And so they do some back road deals. And I've told the law about this. I'm like, you can catch a lot of people on this road if you just sit. There's a whole lot of crap going on. But they don't want to do the job. But my neighbor's son was arrested in the pasture in front of my house with a canine unit. Be 2 years ago Thanksgiving. And so, actually, the first time I was outside and she shot, I looked at him because he was visiting his mother, and I yelled, and I said, hey. And he looked at me. I said, do you know who's firing that gun? And he said, well, why would you ask me? I said, because you're the person that always has stolen guns. Because that's what he got charged with. I said, so I thought you might know. And he goes, well, yeah, I guess, but I don't. And I was like, darn. Because it took me a while to figure out where it was coming from, because one of the homes over there is empty now. I can imagine why they moved. And then another one, she's really close to like 5 homes over there, but we're over here on this side of the creek and the ridge, so it's a different kind of little setup. But I asked him, I said, do you know who's shooting that gun? He's like, why would you ask me? Well, you're the person that always gets arrested with stolen guns. Thought you might know. And he laughed, but I thought I'd zing him and ask him a question at the same time. But you shouldn't have to make yourself small on your own property. You should be able to go outside, during fire season, when you can actually have a fire, have a backyard fire and grill and enjoy your pool and mow your yard without being shot at. That's a big one. I don't know how my pool is still, well, it's not full. If I fill it up and I find a bullet hole, I'm gonna be so mad. I've gone and looked and I've not seen one, but if I fill it up and I find a bullet hole, I'm gonna be so mad. Because I don't know how my pool's still standing, because she surely would have killed it. Hi, hey, you've got mail coming either this weekend or Monday, Tuesday. By Tuesday, it should be there. So by the time I'm in court, you should have your birthday package. I'm tired. I'm up here. I'm loading up stuff, and I ran out of bubble wrap and newspaper. So I shoved the rest of it in a box and put it in a box, hoping that it'll live. But I'm up here picking other crap up. It finally stopped raining, and I thought, well, I'm going to run up the hill. Well, it used to be real quiet here. The last 3 years, it's gotten real loud here, and I don't like that, because I purposely bought in the middle of all this cut-up farmland to have 3 elementary school options for the kids and have a quiet spot, but not be too far from town or school. And when everybody would buy 5 or 10 acres at a time, it wasn't a big problem. Now everybody would buy a half an acre and put a little trailer on it and do their dirty deeds out their back door. And I'm just like, you had to move into my area, didn't you? You had to buy right here. And then the more of them you get, and then property values start plummeting. And then the more of them move in. And the only way to honestly have a good neighborhood is to stand up and say, we won't tolerate this. We have kids here, and we want to have a neighborhood where kids can go and play in the creek and ride their bikes up and down the road and not have to worry about the crazy woman on meth that might shoot them. It's just the last few years it's gotten really crappy around here. People give me wide berth normally because of my career history, but when you're high, you're high. And she's about to kiss Jesus. That's how high she was. And there's no cognition when you're that foobarred up. There's none. Florida, they say in spots, is ate up. I'm hoping that people stop moving here and the issue will get taken care of, but it wasn't until after 2020 when everything shut down that we used to not be a corridor on the drug trafficking highway because we were too out out of sight, out of mind. And normally people would have to drive if they wanted to purchase something that was illegal. And then when the pandemic happened, they decided we don't want to lose our customers. They started traveling through this area on certain roads, and it brought it mainstream here. And it's just like when I was an officer, you might see one cocaine positive drug screen, one you might see one really bad heroin addict. You might see a positive cocaine every 4 to 5 months, but you might see one really bad heroin addict every 6 to 10 months because they would have to travel to go out and get their crap because we're all poor around here, and now there's lighting up them drug screens like Christmas trees. Everything's running through here because they put us on the sale corridor instead of making our people travel out when they didn't have the money. They brought it too because they didn't want to lose their customers. So now we are on the drug corridor. Thank you, lockdown. They don't understand how lockdown changes things, but it's just crazy. Yeah, we got Sabrina in the chat. I sent her a message earlier. I thought she was supposed to take a week off. It's my mom point. She was supposed to take a week off and rest. But she's too smart and too kind to do that, so she works her butt off for everybody all the time. And I've been trying to finish stuff, but I have been, as you can see, cotton ball earbud. So I'm listening to phone calls and my ear hurts. So I've got drops in my ear, and I have been sick all week with the change of the seasons of last winter and then up and down the mountain. It's been rough on me because I've not been really well this week. So I've had a really slow week this week. You had a few days, but I was hoping for you to get a whole week and you'd rest. But you should have how you always say, like, pardon my face, or are you always putting on chapstick or something? Anyway, you'll get it when you get your package. You'll get it. You'll laugh. Oh, that was my Christmas present from Mom a few years ago. That's a cathedral window that was belonged to my grandma's show, and I've got like 10 on there on that rack. I've got to move everything, but I've got a cedar chest I'll have to move before I can move everything. I'm perked up today. The sun actually shined. But now 3 days ago I had a good day and I helped Mom plant some flowers. And then winter snap and driving up and down the mountain just screwed my sinuses and draining up, and I've just been like my vision's been really bad, and it's been horrible actually. So I don't know if I can get a day of rest, like in the sun, sitting in a rocking chair on the porch, then I can finish that stupid slideshow, because I think a lot of people have, the couple of things I've done, they've gone and kind of looked their own and they're like, holy crap. But y'all, it gets worse. I'm trying to feed you the small stuff first, so when we get to the main course of the crap has hit the fan, y'all will not run away in fear. It gets worse. Well, as soon as I get this heifer put in gel or on paper, I'm filling up my pool. But the bad thing is like on my physical therapy days, when a physical therapist shows up, I'll have to come up the mountain to use it. I can't move the pool, and Mom and Dad don't have a flat spot to put it unless it's in the middle of a cow field. And I don't want the bull or the cows in my pool. So, but I figure once a week wouldn't be that bad to drive up and do it. And that sand filter that Leva Cats sold to me, I don't have to hardly use any shock or anything. That sand filter keeps so clean. So I just put it on a timer and I'll just use it my physical therapy days. Oh, I need to, when I take them down and put them up, I'll do a slideshow for you and show them all to you. Because there's a bunch on that rack. There's a bunch. And there's more in the guest room. And then I've got a cedar chest outside that's got more in it. And I've just showed you snippets of my mother's basement. So everything is quilt shop, and then there's the bedroom and kitchenette. That's her quilt shop. And where I see it and look at and Mom's over here, right here next to me is this huge quilting machine that takes up like a 12-foot by 6-foot span. And she rolls the quilts on it and drives it like a little motorcycle and makes the patterns in them. That's her quilt shop. Like, she could run an Etsy shop. I've been trying, and I think I've almost got her convinced that she needs to be selling stuff on Etsy, because even the blanket she gave Oscar to lay on in the quilt room is nicer than what most people have ever seen. And I was like, Mom, you really need to have an Etsy shop. Oh, so the LED lights, they flash faster. The warm lights go on like this. The LED lights are and so if you're epileptic in this day and age trying to buy a light bulb, it's just good luck. God be with you. But now that I've looked at, like, Europe has got like a 50 hertz wavelength, and they stop it there. Like, that's it. That's their average. That's what they want. We've amped it up from 60, that was the standard, to where they have the average now is like 120. So that's twice the flashing our eyes are used to. And then you read optogenetics and how the colors, and they've changed all the colors of the bulbs and what these, like, I hate this freaking bulb that I said I'll never get another one. Mom and Dad use the old, like, warm light bulbs. They'll pay a little bit more to get the warm, and they don't hurt my eyes like this one bulb that David got one day at the Dollar General without me does. And I've noticed since I've been down there that my eyes have not hurt as bad because the light bulbs are not these freaking blue ones. And in the rest of my house, I have like the warm colors. But in here, this one bulb, and it refuses to die, and I hate it. It hurts me. And I've noticed now, being away from this bulb, it hurts me. And the only fluorescent light that we have in the whole house is Mom has one right over her quilt thing so she can see to cut. But she'll turn it off when she's not cutting because it hurts her eyes. And when you have different perspectives, you see things that you wouldn't normally understand in daily life. And I understand it now. The colors are changing because colors do different things to the brain. Like, they've weaseled their way into here, people. We're not just dealing with outer, we're way into here. And I just, there's no nice way to tell you all that. Mm-hmm. Paula, see, I can't say stuff like that, but y'all can. I'm not responsible for the comments, and they can't stop me from the comments. So y'all say what you want to the comments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, weaseled like a little ferret, right? That's how I imagine the government, like a little ferret going through my brain. Am I getting a call? No. Okay. I know, my eyes are so sensitive. I used to notice that, something, when I was a kid and we'd have snowstorms and the electricity would go out and we'd have to go to the hurricane lamps, the oil lamps. For that whole week that the electricity was out and the grid was down, and we were living off the wood stove, cooking in and on the stove, and using hurricane lamps, I would notice that my whole demeanor would calm down. Life had a different perspective. I would find something enjoyable to do instead of working on something I didn't want to work on. Life pared down. It became more simplistic, and I understood. I don't know. I had a different focus. And now I'm beginning to think, was that me even being pushed in my early years? Makes you wonder. Well, I got lucky because Gypsy bought me this wonderful candle that smells like the mountains. And I have got that one, and I've got a toasted marshmallow one. So I like scent. I like candles, but I like scent. Like, my big thing with my senses is scent. I'm a big scent person. And so if I'm going to have a flame going, I want to smell to go with it. So I've been doing that. It's green, which is the most easily digestible color for your eyes and body and mind. And I think that's why I like that freaking candle so much. She does. She's got a very primitive, easy, relaxed, comfortable, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's what I thought when I heard. Yeah, and and Oscar has perked up. Now he travels with me. He goes everywhere. He doesn't even whimper when he gets some cheap. Now he just sits down and goes like, "Where are we going today?" Because he's been going everywhere with me. He's gotten really good at traveling. But Dad is giving him like chicken hearts every other day. He'd get a little chicken heart. Him and Oliver have a chicken heart like every third day. And if you want to know when Dad butchers his chickens, he puts the chicken hearts up. And Oscar's just zinged right up. He looks so good. Oodipo! Now he's loving it down there. I have to remind him this is a gravel road that even though you're not used to them and there's not many trucks, there are big fertilizer and grain and fuel trucks on this road. You need to not get squished. So I've been trying to tell him, stay off the road. So, well, Paula, I understand. My house looks like, well, this is right now. It looks like I'm moving, but when I was here 24/7, it looked like a craft store taxidermy candle shop implosion. So that tells you anything. Mom and Dad's house is a 2-story, and oh my gosh, sometimes I'll go down the steps, and then instead of going up the steps, I'll go out the basement door and around the slant of the ground and in the front door because the steps are just, the stairs hurt. My mother she can take them fine. No, I can't. It hurts. My mother is 71, 72, still climbing those stairs and quilting, and I'm just like, you go, Mom. You go on with your bad self. I'm going to take the land route that's a little bit easier on the legs. So I'll go out the basement door, go around the front door. And Oscar, he'll go down the stairs, but he won't go up them, so he ends up going around with me, so. Oh, I keep mine in old Temu bags. I have moved so many Temu bags in the last month. In Finland, let's see. See, that's what I'm worried about. It's because they're trying to phase them out here, and I'm like, no. Because my eyes do not like the brighter halogen freaky bulbs. They hurt me. Well, I'd rather have to replace 50 old ones that explode rather than put a blue one above my head and let somebody tap into my freaking brain. Because if you read anything about optogenetics and you understand where they already are with it, that means they're probably 2 decades ahead at least. So what the crap? As Sabrina says, they don't ask for your approval to build the stealth bomber. They build it and then tell you, oh, by the way, that's ours. So God knows what they're capable of. Yep. Light communication, and it alters like when I've been studying, when I looked at the rat studies and the mouse studies. Okay, stop talking to me, little lady in my ear. When I was looking at the rat studies and the mouse studies with the lights and different colors and hertz levels, the higher and brighter created a whoo in the warmer, slower, the brighter. The response was like, and you wonder why our kids are all ADD and ADHD and having horrible issues and existential crisis by the time they're teenagers. Because they've been sitting under fluorescent lights for 15 years. Wonder why there's so many riots and jails. They always happen at the cafeteria. Well, where's all the freaking fluorescent lights? It's just, now that I'm starting to look at this, I'm like, holy crap. Yep. I mean, your brain can only take so much, and your brain is meant to, it can stay with you for certain capacity levels, but overstimulation day after day after day is going to do damage physically, mentally, emotionally, and neurologically. I would like to not be damaged. Can it not be damaged? Yeah, those fake lights. Like, I have to have the really warm toned lights for my eyes to feel okay. I'm with you, Brianna. I'm with you. And it's like, I don't know, the whole AI thing, I stay away from AI. I feel like it's a Ouija board. No, thank you. I don't want to go down that tunnel and meet whoever's at the other end. I got no business there. But yeah, I don't know. Humanity has put its head so far behind in that we're feeding ourselves our own crap. And we're believing it. Is the horrible thing. We're believing it. We're swallowing it. And so they keep telling them what we're doing is great, it's good, and making money, and let's keep doing this. But they don't look around and go, oh, people are being hurt. Society is coming undone. Do I feel my wallet when I sit on my butt? That's all they're worried about. Oh yeah, we all keep hurricane lamps here because normally in the winters every 3 to 5 years we have a massive ice storm here, and it shuts. Like the last one was like 5 days without electricity. I just act like I'm back at the wilderness boot camp. Wood stove, put towels in every crack you can find, and hunker down in the bed. Put the clothes you're going to wear tomorrow in your bed with you, so when you sleep, you warm them up and you put on warm clothes. There's your tip. Hurricane lamps and a lot of Uno or Scrabble or something like that. And honestly, some of those ice storms were, we were prepared. So if you weren't prepared, it might have been scary, but we were prepared. And it was some of the funnest times we spent with the kids, just playing Monopoly or, and just having contact and all being shoved in one little room to stay warm. And we'd all bundle up once a day to go feed the horses and make sure their light, they had a heat light. We had to make sure that because of stupid chickens, they try to untangle the cord. They try to roost and bump it. We'd have to make sure it hadn't been dropped down. So every day we'd go feed them and make sure the light wouldn't drop down in the event that the electricity would come back on because we didn't want the barn to burn down with it drop down. And so we'd have to make a daily trek to the barn before nightfall just to make sure everything was good in case the electricity popped on by morning. And we went out one night and it was like -9. And like we were doing chores so quick. The kids were tiny. Haley was bundled up so bad. If she had fallen, she'd have been like that kid on the Christmas Story. She wouldn't have I had to have propped her back up. Those are some of the funnest memories I have with the kids. Hey, Forever Flowers. If I go to home and I don't see bacon grease or something, do I trust you? It's like, I trust you. I want to see like on my stove right now, and this is stuff that I'm not taking yet. I still got my chicken full of fake eggs. I don't know where Mom would put that. I still have a half a pint jar of Mullen that I made last year. Cough syrup to help with cough and sore throat during the winter. But like, you look for people to have like keep their bacon grease. We keep bacon grease. We keep cooking oil. We keep My husband's mother will put lard in the pan before she fries bacon. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not going to stick, but that's just how country she is. But we have different things in our houses and on our stoves and sitting around and yeah. It is. The Amish are. And I went to an Amish doctor. Oh, let me show you. Dad has introduced me to something since I've been having a lot of leg cramps this week. Hang on. I'm not walking great this week, guys. It's not been a great walking week for me. Look. And Sabrina, you're gonna love this. All it is apple cider vinegar, ginger juice, and garlic juice. It's just very potent. Like look at the bottom. You have to shake it up before you use it every time. And you smell horrible after you take it. But you basically put a capful, and then you want about the amount of a NyQuil cup, basically. You put a capful, and then you put a couple ounces of water in with it, and you just shoot it. Do it fast. Have a drink prepared. And literally in 30 minutes, my body feels so much better. And I make the garlic honey stuff sometimes with the cayenne pepper and cinnamon and stuff in it. This I found works better because my body absorbs it more quickly. I like this a lot. I'm going to be buying this. But I went to an Amish doctor when I was young. And we've got a pretty prominent Amish population around here, especially about 30 minutes south of me. And we spend a lot of time there because they have a leather shop and all that. So we know them very well. And I couldn't be Amish because my mouth would get me in trouble. In like 5 minutes, I would be at the bishop's house getting punished. But I think they have a very good lifestyle. And I think I love the stuff. And I think they have their ducks in a row. And I think that's where we've gotten off track as a society, is the government has changed our ducks to chickens and squirrels, and we all don't know what's in a row and where a row is anymore, and we're all foodborne. I did good on the garlic and honey. This just hits me so much. Oh, cast iron's great, yeah. We have a lot of red clay mud here too, and I use a lot of bentonite clay too. Yeah, a lot of people smoke the leaves, but I just pick the flowers when they're really late in bloom, and you start with a layer of sugar, flour, sugar, flour, sugar, flour, and if you need to add a little bit of water, you can. But normally, if you sit it in a hot window, it will just compost, and then you'll strain it, and what you have left is great cough syrup. Oh yeah, but don't get it mixed up. Now Mullen's yellow, lamb's ear is purple. Don't get it mixed up. A lot of people get it mixed up and they end up screwed up. But yeah, Mullen's yellow. And we've got stalks to get taller than me around here, so it only takes a couple of stalks to make what we need in a year. I know I wouldn't be able to be Amish. Well, I'm tatted out now too, but now I like if I ever need help in the hardware store, I'm asking the Amish man. I will find him. Gypsy's been with me when I've done it, so y'all will have proof. But I scare them a little bit, I think, because I'm a little loud for them, but that's okay. Oh, they kick me. I'd be at the bishop's house and be like, oh, I'm sorry. Apologize. But if you've met my dad, you would know. It's genetic. My nurse has seen me twice now down at the farm. And she's just like, you're in a different mindset down here. I'm like, I am. I'm much better down here. I'm much happier. Well, Annette, I'll have to look at the state line plant crossings between us, but I might be able to send you some. Oh, the Amish normally are kind of their animals, but they have a pretty strict training protocol they go through. But if you ever want an animal that will not hurt you, get it Amish broke. It's not that they're mean to them, it's that they're very consistent. And the animal learns to work and learns its job. And some animals really like that. Like, I've been around livestock and horses and everything my whole life. Some horses need a job. Some horses are just good yard ornaments. Some cattle are, important. Some cows you want to keep, and some cows you will bully all the other cows and steal calves, so you get rid of that one. Some draft horses, they need a very strict training because they're very, you got a ton and a half, 2-ton animal coming at you. You better have, a good relationship. And my uncle and my grandpa raised Belgian, Shire, Percheron, and Mule draft mixes. And my uncle was real big in it he had award-winning animals for a long time. And buddy, if you didn't have them under your thumb, you would get killed in 5 seconds because they can kill you anytime they want to. Even if they're well trained, they can kill you anytime they want to. Even a regular horse a pony will kill you when it wants to. Ponies are mean. But we would send some of our bigger ones that we knew he was going to show us. If we'd send them off, we'd get them Amish broke. And we'd send them to a local farm where we could go and check on them and stuff. But they never treated them poorly, but now they put them to work. And when they threw a fit, they didn't get out of training. And they learned that this was just life and this was my job. And if they were good at it, we kept them. If they weren't good at it, we found what they were going to be good at and put them down that aisle and got rid of them. Some horses are really good trail horses. Some horses are really good show horses. Some horses just are expensive yard ornaments, and you can't trust them. And but they weren't mean. They were just, we're going to the fields. We're going to work. You don't get to throw a fit. You'll get fed at the end of the day. You'll get brushed and taken care of. And in 3 months, you'll have kids loving on you for the rest of your life. And we brought a blonde standard bred mare off the Amish because she'd plow. She's blind, but she'd plow and pull a cart. On the pavement, she was great. She never stumbled. She would stumble sometimes on uneven ground, but her name was Softy. And I would turn the taters up with her. Dad plowed with her some, and I turned the taters up, and Dad was plowing with her one day, and he was ginning and hawing all over the place. And he was like, Softy, I told you to go straight. And I said, Dad, she's blind. She thinks she is going straight. He just looked at me like unnecessary commentary. I was like, sorry. She was the best horse. Like, you could wrap a child around her legs. She'd be like, I'm babysitting now. Okay, I'm babysitting now. Ha. And she just sniffed that baby up one end to the other. And she'd know that kid the next time I come around. And she was the best horse. And I don't know, I think now there's probably some mean trainers out there, but our guys, they were so good that by the end of the 3 months, you had a horse that was a pocket pony because they learned that all the good came from you, the comfort, the security came from you, and in return, they worked and you took care of them and gave them that comfort and security and play pretties and children because big horses love little kids. I don't know why. They love them. When I was tiny, I would roll all over Grandpa's Belgians. I would climb the fence, parallel park them, and jump on their fat backs. And Grandma would go into a hysterical fit. But Grandpa taught me all their cues, so that's on him. Um, but you just gotta know who you take your horses to and be a participating owner and be aware. I trained horses for a long time, and I wasn't mean to any, except for one. I had a mare drag me down and try to kill me. We had a round to establish the pecking order. She never once looked at me in a sire tone. But I went through years of training horses. I was never mean to any of them. We just got into a routine consistency. They understood what I expected and what I would not tolerate, and once you get that rapport built and they know that you provide their safety, they're like stuck up your butt. So I still got until last year. The last horse I trained died this spring. Last spring. No, this spring. He died this spring. Early this spring. I was still getting Christmas cards from the family that bought him. They loved him. He was 24 when he died. So I bought him when he was 2. Actually, David bought him when he was 2. Bought him as a surprise present for me. The best little horse I ever had. And when I had my leg injury, I had 3 horses. It wasn't fair. They were pocket ponies. They were used to being used and loved on, and I had to find new owners for them that could use them because it was a sin to watch them ruin in the pasture. So I'm reading. Hang on. Oh yeah, people ride cows. They a lot back in the old times when you had oxen, you trained them to wagon and plow and ride and everything. Yeah, I've even seen a guy ride a longhorn steer in the middle of town. I've got a picture of Daddy when he was 6, 7, working a team of mules. And then I've got a picture of him when he was about 50, holding on to one of his draft mules, Joe, that he had. And that old mule, Joe, he'd see Haley stand on the gate, and he'd come running to her and just put his head up against her. And his head was almost half the size of her whole body. And she'd just hug his jawline. But if I went to him, he'd pin them ears back and look at me like, I don't like you. And it was mutual. I didn't care for him either. But he loved Haley. Like, he would run and just put his head right into her and just get hugged and loved on. And I was like, well, he is your pocket pony, not mine. You have personality conflicts with animals. You do. I've had a few. Well, maybe that's one way you could take me a trail ride, because I'm pretty sure a big old heifer could pack me. I want to trail ride one more time before I croak. That's my goal. I didn't know I was going to get half crippled and broke down, but here we are. But I can't win a lottery. But I can get every, rare disorder. Been nicer to have had lottery numbers, I'm just saying. Been way nicer. Life doesn't always give you what you want. Ain't we learned that in the last 6 months? I haven't weighed myself in 2 weeks, but I don't think I've lost a lot because I've been trying to cut my morning calories down because I've been eating dinner with Mom and Dad. And so we switch every other night. Somebody will cook. And so I'll cook one of my meals, and then Mama cooked stew or. Dad gets really creative when he cooks, so I have to ask him, what did you season it with? Because I don't want to die. So I've had a different, I have to watch in the morning, because that way, if the supper's heavier, then I know I've been lighter during the morning and I'm okay, and I just need to stay up a few more hours before I go to bed. And so I'm hoping I've kind of held or maybe lost a pound or 2, but I don't know. I probably need to, that's one thing I need to put in the Jeep is my scale, because Mom's does not work. So I don't really want to look at one. I've looked at one for so long, I don't want to look at one anymore. Oh yeah, she makes the best yeast rolls. They're so good. Sweet rolls. Oh, they're so good. Well, I call them sweet rolls. They're dinner rolls, but they're sweet rolls. And and she makes them and she freezes them and then she'll make them. And I just sit there and look at them because I know if I eat one, I'll eat two, and I don't dare. They're as big as my head. But oh my gosh, like I told Mom, I said the moment I stopped eating bread, you started this whole baking frenzy. So I'm screwed. But oh, I love them. They're so good. Yeah, they're huge, but oh, they're so good. Like that's dessert. That's what I would call dessert. They're so good. But Dad made pork chops the other day. He made chop sandwiches, and he's learned me. So he toasted him and Mom a bun and left mine without bread because he's learned now that there's certain things I don't eat. And but he lightly breaded the chop. And where I don't eat like that, I have to be very careful because that's added calories and stuff. So I have to be really careful. I think there's been a couple days I've not ate enough because I've been really weak in the evenings. So I'm trying to get my diet. And that's one thing my nurse was really worried about. I'm trying to get my diet kind of worked out because it's changed. But so I still get my meal deliveries down on the farm now, and I just eat every other night. Or if Mom's not feeling good, I'll cook, and if I'm not feeling good, Mom's cooks. But we tackle breakfast, lunch, and dinner and dishes, and we just kind of I'm helping where I can because they've given me a place to hide while this woman's going through the court issue. But honestly, I don't know what's going to happen after court. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why I've been so susceptible to the allergies and the pollen I think that's what's been affected me is because my metabolism, which does it changes your drainage and I think that's why I've been so kind of this week. The first week down there, I was still on my terms. I was coming off my roller coaster. Now I'm on theirs, and maybe next week it'll get leveled out. Normally, it's like 21 days to create a habit, good or bad. So I'm hoping that's a good habit created in next week. I don't know. See, when they did summons her, they served her, and they brought her in for arraignment. They give her a no contact, but I'm pretty sure she's violating that just being in her own house because you know how close things are. But they put in no contact, and they basically told her, you screwed up. You shot at the wrong one. So she's being really quiet. So I've snuck up to get a few things, and I'm going to have to leave her in a minute. But they didn't even hold her. They just give her a no contact order and let her loose again. Even though the DA was screaming she's a threat to society, she needs to be... And my big thing is she needs at least one felony, so she can't have firearms. So she shoots again, she's gone. And so she's got eyes on her, getting some kind of supervision because the woman needs help. So my thing is I want a felony to stick so that she can get help, and I've got a safety blanket because if I hear another gunshot, I'm calling dispatch and going, listen, we had this rodeo. If you open the gate on another cow, I'm going to throw a fit. But I have a little bit more say-so in neighborly behavior because I know what she's not allowed in her home because that was my job for years. But woman needs help, but the rest of the subdivision needs a freaking life because we've all been ducking for 10 months and I'm freaking tired of it. Y'all heard on that recording that night, if she had topped that hill, I'd have been put in a position I wouldn't wanted to have taken care of, but I'd took care of it. And the only reason I removed my butt from the whole thing is because I'm not an asshole, and I don't want to have to make that decision. But then I also thought her dopehead friends would probably retaliate, so... Even the DA told me to put myself somewhere safe, and I'm like, y'all really suck at your job. So... And yeah, that's right. It's become the Hug a Thug program. And don't get me wrong, everybody deserves a second chance to... You can recreate yourself. You can completely turn yourself around. I've seen horrible people that were like slideshows of you're going to hell. Completely become great and awesome people. So you can change if you want to do it. But like at 60 plus years old, like I said, like her level of meth use is probably equivalent to a heifer. She's depleted so many brain cells, like there's no cognition. Now, how do you work with somebody that has no cognition or limited cognition? How do you supervise and have them understand the law when there's no computation going on in here? It's scary, but I hope she figures out enough to know that the heifer over here on the hill is done. Oh, I miss Paula's a sweetie pie. Me and Paula, we seem to be very similar creatures. Thank you, Paula. I appreciate you being here. Hey, I understand. Thank you. I like Paula. I hope she pops back in quite often. Yeah, I was very disgruntled at how they handled her. So, what I say Tuesday goes on the transcript. Well, we all know I like to talk. So guess what? I have to go to a meeting with the district attorney's office at 9 Monday morning. I'm pretty sure they're going to say, Elizabeth, don't. Elizabeth will. I've been sick. Gypsy, like I said, I got caught in this ear, and I got an earbud in this one. I'm listening for phone calls. I've got a bad ear again. So I've had the migraines. It's just been a real bad week for me. I come up today to load a box of my glass stuff and stuff that I want with me, and I thought, well, I'll do a video with a normal background for once, where I'll wean you from this background eventually, so it won't like shock and awe you. I like Jordan Cash. He'll kind of give you both sides, but he has a very, he'll give you both sides, but he stays in a very narrow path. But I like his dry wit and sarcasm, and that he's right there telling you what he's seeing with his own two eyes. And I appreciate that from him. And he's probably not receiving a lot of love. Oh, and everybody, has anybody heard anything about I left when they were fixing to restart the hearing. But here's my view, if anybody, because the first thing out the gate when I went live, somebody snuck in and wanted to ask me a political question. Here's my take on the whole political thing. If they don't say that a president is immune from all this hogwash, then all we've done is basically neuter all future presidents, because they're going to be a figurehead, and they're going to be too scared to do anything to keep our country safe, or clean, or they're going to be too scared of retribution or retaliation. And we've neutered them. We've neutered them, just snipping puppies off. We've neutered them. Now, I don't know about you, but when I want my house protected, I want me a big old mean looking dog. I don't want something that's going to run behind my legs and, like Oscar. I don't want someone's going to run behind my legs and hide. I want a big old mean dog. When you want to breed cows, you want a big old bull. When you want to keep your country safe, you want a big old president. So stop trying to neuter a president. Well, the one that we already have is neutered. But stop trying to neuter all future presidents and the last one. I mean, just look at history. You always want the biggest and meanest and sternest person at the helm of the ship. Stop. It's like, stop. Seriously. I'm so tired of hearing about Corn Pop and his family member that was apparently eaten by cannibals. Has anybody figured out the romanticized approach he takes to history and the very lenient way he plays with it? Anybody? Well, on As Poor as War, I said this is always like the last thing me and David are probably going to do as a true couple is pay taxes. And we owed money this year because of Joe Biden's change on the paperwork. He didn't change the tax law. He didn't lie. He didn't change the law. He changed the paperwork. Stinker. So David we had to pay back. And on the first installment, because we did 2 installments, on the first installment, I wrote the memo on, I really hate y'all. I really hate y'all. On this one that's going in here in the next week or two, I'm going to write for Parmesan and hose in the memo line. I mean, it's the only kick I get out of life, so I might as well. Maybe somebody read it and laugh. Isn't it funny that every pet he has is like bit numerous people? He doesn't have leadership qualities. I mean, if you can't train a dog, how are you going to heal the world? Like, how are you going to bring the whole world and everybody else to heal? How? You can't even make your own dog not bite people. That was the first thing. Okay, this man does not have a structured home, and he is not the center. You know, everybody looks to him for cues and who's taking the lead, and even his dog don't listen to him. I'd be ashamed. I'd be ashamed. Yeah, basic wisdom. I mean, you go out and when you go to buy animals, you don't buy the heifers that are running crazy. You buy the heifers that are looking at the other cows going, what do we do? Okay, we're going to stand here with this older, smarter cow. Okay, I want that heifer. I don't want that heifer. I know the one ramming her head into the fence. I don't want to buy her. She's stupid. I want the ones that are going to follow the common sense ones and not tear every fence I have down. And so, you definitely need to have a commander. And it's just like, I'm not even sure he's wiping his own butt at this area. I mean, it's just, and I'm tired. Like somebody said, oh, we need to be sending money to all these other places. I'm like, listen, at this point, America is just a laundromat. It just, which quarter are you going to put in what machine? And we have a few machines that we're feeding right now, if y'all get my point. And I'm tired of putting my money in all these washing machines to do everybody else's dirty laundry. I can barely afford to do my own daggone laundry. I'm getting tired of it. And then all this crazy crap going on, bridges collapsing and things crashing and blowing up, and statistically too routinely to be possible. You should probably be paying attention. Probably. If you want to know what's going to happen, you should probably be paying attention. I mean, my God, I smelled a puff of smoke the other day, and it's not fire season here. You're not allowed to have a fire yet. And I was like on a hunt for who had started the fire. Because I was like, you idiot, it's windy, and you started the fire. And whoever you are, I'm going to find you. And I was down there just smelling the wind and trying to figure out which way it was blowing because Mom and Dad are in a little hole. And found out it was the road crew had come through and poured something hot and caught some leaves on fire and had to put it out. And I thought, you morons. But I mean, I don't know. I'm that aware, and other people just seem to just go through life without even. I mean, some days I forget which underwear I have on. Don't think I'm like super smart. Like I'll have to go. Wait, which? Okay. But now, if I'm on a cattle farm with rolling acreage and I smell smoke, I'm going to be finding that flame. But I'm really not enamored with the IQ level of most of society right now. So, it's the nicest way to say it. I don't know. I've just been through a lot lately. And my whole world basically got upended by a meth head, so I'm not in like my touchy-feely space right now. I'm kind of in my leave me alone phase right now. So there's been some days probably I wouldn't have had anything positive to have said to you, and so been a big change lately. But I'm fixing to take my picture, and I've emptied about 70-80% of that, but everything's stuck to the front. I've made so many trips just for my craft stuff because that keeps me sane. And clothes, craft stuff and clothes. And now I'm getting to trinkets and stuff that I have room for that I absolutely want to have. I'm just tired. Extremely tired. So if I make it through Tuesday evening, because after court I have to go and do my blood work. So if I make it through Tuesday evening and get home, it will be amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's going to be rough till then, though. And my stupid ear is, I had to come up. That's the real reason I had to get my eardrops. I've got 2 kinds of eardrops here, and I had to come up and get them. So that prompted the whole day. So thank you. Been a rough month. It's been a rough year, but it's been a really rough month. So I'll message you though. But I wanted to pop on and chit chat with you, and catch up with you, and tell y'all what's been going on and update, because I got my subpoena earlier in the week and I was too sick to let you know. I'm just tired, so I'm just wanting to get through this and get it over with, and maybe life will have some normalcy here in a few weeks. I don't know. But I do feel safe down at Mom and Dad's. It's down in a hole, and it's like 6 miles off the main road and on a private drive, on a private farm drive. So I feel safe. And so if I can just get the change from elevation and pressure and allergies, and if I can get just through all that and get my body onto their schedule, which is getting there, everything will be okay. I'm glad you caught me too, Annette. I appreciate you hanging in and listening to me. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go through the system again a second time. Somebody else shoots me, I may just shoot back. I think one shotgun fired in the air would probably let her know, don't. And then again, it could have ticked her on off. I don't know. But I just removed myself from the whole thing because I thought I'm gonna be making a decision I don't want to make if I stay here. Do I think the court system handled it appropriately? No. They put the burden on me as the victim, which is retarded. And I don't know. I don't know. So this may not be a backdrop y'all see. As soon as I get on my crap, it may not be one you see ever again. Miss you too, Gypsy. I was telling him, well, you had proof of something. Oh, that I would single out the Amish men in the hardware store and ask them questions because I trust the Amish men over other people. But I'm telling you, if you got muscle cramps or something, crap. And I'm going to take like a little shot every other day and just get my system cleared out, because within 30 minutes, this had stopped my legs from cramping and I was asleep. And I guess it's just balanced out just right. And I've made my own stuff. It just did not have the impact that this did. So just remember to shake it every time for you. But it's the old Amish Muscle Tonic, and they sell it online. It's from Caleb Trees, Treeze, Organic Farm. And I thought Dad was crazy because I was like, oh, I do all this stuff on my own. This just me. It must be a certain concoction, a certain balance, because it hit my legs and they stopped. And I felt my nervous system just release, and I went right to sleep. And I thought, wow, some good crap. And all it is apple cider vinegar and ginger and garlic. But it's whoever done that balanced it out very well. It did great. So I keep it close because I've been having a lot of cramps. So it traveled with me, the dog and my pocketbook and the muscle tonic and my crutches everywhere I go now. So, but I will update you after court next week. I don't know. I'm wanting to get out of the house tomorrow, and as kind of grumpy as me and David have been, he had promised to take me to the planning festival, and he's like, I'm still going to go. If you want to go, I'll take you. So I don't know if I feel like getting out tomorrow, I may go to the planting festival. Because there'll be other people there, so I can meander and visit. But I don't know if I'm going to feel like it. We'll just see what my ear does tonight and how I rest. So. Yeah, that's why this organic farm is Amish owned. And Dad, Mom found him. And I thought that was crazy because he was saying he said it relaxed his cramps just almost immediately because he gets really bad cramps. I am a father made over, if y'all have not realized that. And so not for last I had super horrible cramps, and I took a shot, and was 30 minutes. I was good. It's amazing. So, and you only take a capful and put a couple ounces of water with it and just shoot it. Don't think about it. Just toss her back and go on. Great stuff. So I've been keeping that with me, and it pretty much stays in a Ziploc bag in my pocketbook. And but I wanted to show it to Jens, and my crutches and my dog, which Oscar's doing great from the farm. Oodie-po! Oscar! Come here. Hang on. As soon as we got here, he's like, my bed, which he's got a bed at Mom and Dad's, but his orthopedic hammock and orthopedic mattress, he was like, my bed. And I'm like, I'm buying a new one. We're not taking that one. Come here. Let's show everybody how healthy you look since you've been on the farm. Come here. Come here, old man. Come on. Come here. Oh, my goodness. Look at my little dog. Oh, don't lick me. Look at my little dog. So I'm so happy. Oh, God. I'm so happy on the farm. Oh, I'm so happy. Yes, I know. I'm so happy on the farm. So I got a haircut. I got a pugtail. Look at this, a pugtail. I got a pugtail. I got a haircut. I'm living life large, man. It's like I get to run with the coonhounds and the Australian Shepherd and ride into Kubota. He's happy. And he rides in the car so much better now. He doesn't freak out. And literally, he's wanted to leave. He's been looking at me. He's gone to the door a couple of times today, been like, is it time to go back home? And I'm like, chill, dog. It's okay. We'll go in a minute. I know. We're not leaving yet. Sorry. I just wanted to show everybody how pretty you were doing. I mean, you're just so pretty. He's lost some weight and toned up, and he's been playing. He's good. Ruby's doing great, too. I've gotten Ruby to sit and stay at about a 13-foot gap now, which is amazing because she's like ADHD. And so I've got her sit, stay, and I'll throw her bone, stay, throw her bone. And every time I say stay, I take a step back. And I've got to like 13 steps now, so I have to take a whole handful of those little bones, but I'll chuck them and she'll catch them, every one. And so I can get about halfway across the porch from her. And she'll stay, and I'll just pitch them, and she'll catch them with her big old jaws. I mean, I've enjoyed the time with Mom and Dad, so don't quite know what's going to happen. I do know that the stairs are a bit much. But who knows? Maybe they're helping my legs in the long run. Simple girl. Hey, you popped back in here. I haven't seen you in a while. But yeah, I'm doing okay. It's just the change. Getting used to the change has made my sinuses and allergies, and I'm gonna have to shave again so I can watch for spots before I get mastoiditis again. So I'm just, a lot of it's weather, a lot of it's change and scheduling, but I can't say like when I got here, I can definitely say I'm alert. I used to not ever have to be like, I'm laid back. Most people never bother me, leave me alone. They know to leave me alone. And since all this started, I've been like, and so I've been here for a few hours. I'm gonna have to leave because I'm like, when I'm here, I'm like, on point. Like I'm ready to, and I can't do that very long. It hurts my body. So I'm tired. Like I'm like twice as tired if I would have been at Mom and Dad's all day. So, I got everything but this box of glass stuff ready to go. And then it can just live in the Jeep until I bring it in a box at a time at Mom and Dad's. Because I slowly unload. I just take my time. Oh, did she? Oh. I like that. I want pictures. You better take me pictures. Oh, yeah, I told you I had something in the mail for her. I sent you a message. Yeah, I got it in the middle of the night, and I think I sent you a message. If you get like midnight or 2 a.m. text from me, I'm not having a good night, and just thought of something you might want to know. Okay, good. It's been a rough few days, so. But it did stop raining. The sun was out for a couple hours, and now it's kind of overcast, but there's a cat. Well, I move and everything moves in. I don't like cats around my house. I mean, I don't mind if I want one, but if I don't want them, I don't like cats around my house. Random cat. See, if I'm not here, like, it's like everything just encroaches on this land. If I'm not here, everything just, and I'm like, so there's a random cat in the yard now. Don't know where it came from. It's probably been here about as long as I've been gone. Seems very comfortable outside, so I left my porch decorated, but I took most of my stuff down to Mom's and put it on Mom's porch. Well, it was grayish, so it's probably one of Phantom's offspring. That crazy feral cat nobody in the whole freaking world can catch. Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, I'm on my phone. I can't look at it. Darn it. But yeah, it seems like if I'm not here, it's just, I don't know, this house is not alive or something. It's just a whole different vibe here. So I'm fixing to head back. I wish the rings under my eyes would go away. They're trying. They're getting better. I haven't worn makeup in like a month. 2 months. 2 months. But I'll update you after court Tuesday, and I'm going to load up this last box and get my crap together. I gotta find my glue sticks. Dang it. Oh, well, I'll get them next time. But I don't know if I'll update. If I actually get out tomorrow, I might do a little video. But if I don't, you probably won't hear anything from me until after court. Because Sunday will be rest and sleep day. And Monday's meeting with the prosecuting attorney for the state at the DA's office, and Tuesday's court. And blood work after court. So that's going to be a double doozy on me. That's great. But I don't like to make multiple trips up the hill. So I try to do everything when I travel because I don't like coming up down that hill. Gypsy's driven it. It's not pleasant, is it? Up and down that hill is if you've got inner ear issues, it's not the greatest. So I try to do everything in one trip, and then I'll go home and sleep for a day and get back at it. But I've got it's not a nice road, but I've got a lot to do in the next few days. But I will let you know how court goes. I probably don't anticipate being super happy about what happens, but because I think they're going soft on her, and I'll ask them why. I got no problem asking why. I'm the victim. I should know. But I don't anticipate it going super great in my favor because they've been so lenient on her to this point. I don't expect it going well. So she literally upended my entire life. I'd like to return the favor. Only maybe she'll do better. Maybe it'll help her get some help and do better. I don't exactly know where I'm going to end up. So we'll see. One of them years. So, but anyway, I'm going to go back before it gets any later. So y'all take care of yourself, and Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning I'll do an update. Depends on how tired I am after the blood work, and let you know what happened. And hopefully I'll rest tonight. I think a day out in the sunshine seeing people would make me feel better. So I may try to get out tomorrow. I don't know, but my body is like where all the changes in my body is not mine right now. Like I'm just autopilot, kind of riding shotgun, and it's doing its own thing, and I'm kind of, my world's dictated by it right now. So I've this week has been really bad. So maybe if I get out and try to get it back on track, I'll feel better. But it's been a rough first of the year. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. And I'll be back. I swear I have. Like, I've filtered it down to like 28 slides from like 40 something. And I've been doing all this research, and I had a clip of the rat things, and I had it in my little editor program, and it ate it. Because I had screen recorded everything. But I looked up the rat test, and the studies actually had video of the rats being optogenetically controlled. And if I can find it again, I'll re-record it. But I have all this. I just got to be able and physically able to present it. But it's very interesting, and it opens up a vast, whole new world to what they can do to us. So just be prepared. The information will not be. You don't want to eat take a snack because you're going to choke on whatever you're trying to snack with because you're going to be like, what the crap? So just be prepared for it. The more I've studied, the more I've realized I don't know near what I thought I knew. And if you dig, they kind of tell on themselves about how far they've gotten, but then they'll retract. And they'll tell on themselves and they'll retract. And I'm like, I'm on to you. So whatever I tell you about, they're probably at least 20 years ahead. But what I can find and substantiate is all I can present. So we'll get that out hopefully maybe this weekend or middle of next week, because Monday and Tuesday are going to be heck on me. So I'll get it out as soon as I can. And I don't look for life to perk up for any of us. So wear your undies that can take some sandpaper life eras, because we're fixing to hit like a 40 grit. It's going to be rough. So put your big girl blimbers on, because we're fixing to hit it big time. And my life personally is just kind of crap right now because of a meth head. But like society-wise, get ready. I think probably, Annette, it's probably closer to that at least. I'm being careful with my 20, but yeah, I think they're probably at least flirting with 40 to 60 easily. But it's the more I dig, the more I need to dig, and I really need to stop digging, because it's like I have way too much that to show you now. It's going to be stuff that for a year I'm going to be popping up just doing random optogenetics crap, because it just opens up so much else that you can look into. But it's just crazy. So, but y'all get it. Okay, me and my box of glassware is going to walk out now. And I will see you all in the near future. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. I've just got to get through Tuesday evening. Tuesday morning's court and the Tuesday evening's blood work. If I can make it through all that, as soon as I get out of court, I go to do blood work. So if I can make it through that day and sleep, we're good. That's all I'm trying to do, is get through Tuesday. And then we'll reassess and refocus and navigate toward another goal, whatever that one may be. I just wanted to give Enza a normal background. I'm going to grab that photo. And me and my glassware and my photo are leaving. My painted picture from Sabrina. And me and my box are heading out. So y'all take care of yourself. And I'll see you Tuesday night, Wednesday-ish. And if I have anything before then, I'll throw it up. Won't be greatly edited, but I'll throw it up. And I'll see you as soon as I can. So y'all take care of yourself. Appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm tired. I love you guys. I really do. And Sabrina, message me. Girl, we got to talk. Look at my hands. I stay like half flare from where I've been going so much. Look how red my thumb is. Stop it. Stop it. Thank you, Gypsy. I'll be yelling at you, but now you know why. This has not been a good week. So, okay, everybody. I'm leaving. It's going to get dark soon. Bye. Here comes Oscar. Oh, he still knows how to ask to go outside. You need to go pop what?